Good morning, Boise Neighborhood Association presidents and neighbors. My name is Hank Allen. It is September 11th, 2021. I really appreciate you taking the time to listen to this video. I'm going to try to keep it quick for those on limited time. I'm probably going to do it in 2 points. I'll give you a brief, quick call to action, why I'm making this tape. And then for those who want more details, I'll keep going and then you can continue on with me. So anyways, the reason I'm making this video is to make you aware that the city of Boise is in the process of rewriting their wireless zoning ordinance for cell towers, which is good. We've been asking I represent Idahoans for Safe Technology. We're a 501c nonprofit. And we've been asking the city of Boise for quite a while now to update their wireless ordinance to add more protective language to keep you and your family safe from the harms and dangers of RF radiation. So their draft ordinance came out, gosh, it was end of July 30th. And they sent a copy of the ordinance looking for comments to all of the neighborhood associations. All the comments came in and they've been looked at. I reviewed them last night and only one neighborhood association gave comments and they were okay with the new draft ordinance. Okay. So what's happening is Verizon and ACHD, or our highway department here in Idaho, they want to roll out this new 5G network and put basically small cell towers up and down every city street to provide the 5G network to everyone. All right, sounds okay if you want it, but if you end up with a cell tower in your front yard or really close to your house and it makes you sick, there's nothing you can do. Your personal property rights have been taken away from you. And the only time you have an option to weigh in is right now when they're drafting this ordinance. We need your help. Whether you believe that RF radiation can cause damage or not, or it's harmful to human health, that's to be debated. But I think all of us want to have a say in whether or not a tower could be radiating me and my family, or you and your family, 24/7 in front of your house all the time. And this is the opportunity to weigh in and let your voice be heard. Stand up and protect the city. So I'm going to take you to exactly what I'm looking for here. I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to go over to the body of this this post or this email that I'm sending out to you, and I'm going to walk you through it. Okay, so here's the urgent call to action, and we're asking Boise Neighborhood Association citizens to please be advised. We need you to weigh in now before September 20th. Okay, so for the people who are on a short timeline here, this is what our action is. So I'm asking neighborhood association presidents to please forward this email to your association board and neighborhood leaders today for input before the September 20th. Planning and zoning is still taking late comments. Okay. If you are a Boise resident that's receiving this from your neighborhood association president, please email the president of your association today and request that they weigh in on the Boise wireless ordinance update. Please simply ask them to support us, Idahoans for Safe Technology, and our recommendations for the Boise wireless ordinance change. Okay, you can simply click here on the recommendations, and you can see the complete recommendations that we've submitted to the city council, not city council, but to the zoning administrator. And then also here's a link to a contact list for your local association president. Here we go. I'll show you the contact list. So if you go here, you click on this, and there is like the Barber Valley. Here's the email. You get the picture. There's a full contact list here for you. Likewise, here's a copy of the recommendations so you can see the exact legal verbiage that us, Idahoans for Safe Technology, what we submitted to the city. Okay. Now, once the presidents receive comments from the citizens, they need to reply back to the city planning in one or two ways. They could either attend the zoning meeting that's coming up on September 20th at 6 p.m. and voice their opinion on what the citizens of their community feel, whether they want better language in the ordinance, or two, they can reach out directly to the planner at the city of Boise. That's Selena Cord. Here's her phone number and her email address, and you have to reference this permit number and voice your opinion. The city of Boise really weighs heavily on the opinions of our neighborhood associations. Okay, on to item number 4, the Boise City Council elections coming up in November 2nd. Okay, so this wireless ordinance, after it goes through planning and zoning, will ultimately have to be approved by the city council. City council has been very pro 5G and very much in the favor of supporting Verizon. So I wouldn't count on that, but to better your odds, I would definitely elect 3 candidates to fill the seats that will protect you and stand up to the other city council members and make sure that we get a wireless ordinance that is safe for your children and yourselves. So get out there, be bold, show up to the debates and any Q&A events you have and ask this question: how do you feel about the 5G rollout? I've included down here a link to the Boise City Council election info. So simply go here, go to the Boise website, and they just posted the candidates, I think 4 candidates for each district. Reach out to your candidates. Let's get someone in there that's going to take care of you guys correctly. And then the fifth thing here is we need money. Idahoans for Safe Technology, we are trying to raise $10,000 for attorney legal fees that we're investing in protecting cities in the Treasure Valley here. We're comprised of 100% unpaid volunteers. This is just purely volunteer work. We are a 501c, so your donations are completely tax deductible and kindly help us protect you and your families. Okay, so that's what the people who are on limited time, you can just stop the video now and go straight to plans of action. For those who want the nuts and bolts and would like to see a little bit more information, keep on going here. And I'm going to show you what we have here for you. So here's a link. This is to the current Boise wireless ordinance. So this is the ordinance in place. You can click on the link, go to the page, and it's going to, you're going to scroll down just a little bit to communication uses and wireless communication facility. Here you can read through and see what the current Boise wireless cell tower ordinance is, where they're allowed, the setbacks, everything else. Okay. Now let's go to the proposed draft changes to the ordinance. Okay. So here you go. This was the letter that was sent out to all the neighborhood associations from the zoning commission, and this is their draft comments. You can go through here and you can see kind of what they're talking about. And I want to show you exactly what they're looking at. These pictures right here, let me zoom in here so you can all see. This is a small cell tower that's basically mounted on top of a telephone pole. And then here's another version of it. It looks like a little bag that's installed on the phone wires, right? And they call that a strand mounted cell, or basically an antenna, right? And they can place these things anywhere. And what they're trying to do is pave the way so that ACHD can issue one permit to Verizon or any telecommunications company, and they can come and put these towers wherever they want in our communities. And they need to have them about 200 feet apart in order for them to work properly. So these things will end up in your front yards, in your backyards, anywhere there is a public right of way. Okay. And they will be radiating your family 24/7, 365 days a year. You can't turn them off, and it's going all the time. Now, whether you think that's good or bad, you have no say if it turns out to be bad for you. Taking a big risk here. And we've never, ever had this type of radiation exposure ever to our society. Okay. So you go through here, and really, I'll let you guys kind of read through this if you're really interested, but you'll see that the purpose of this draft ordinance is a joint effort between ACHD and Boise and the Boise's attorneys and Verizon to strip out any kind of language that will cause hurdles or could, make Verizon do extra work to communicate with you and get permission to put a tower in front of your house. So they've streamlined the process, and basically they can put these things wherever they want as long as they're in the public right of ways. And you have no say if we don't weigh in now on this ordinance. Okay, so you can go ahead and look through that. Let's go to the next one. So here is the Boise Public Records link, and on this link, all right, I'm going to show it to you. You're going to pop in, and we're looking at this is the zoning record for this ordinance rewrite. And right here on this records and info document tab, you go down to documents, and this is where the public record is being stored for the city of Boise. And you can see here's the letter of intent that was sent out to you, the draft ordinance, the transmittal that was sent out to all of the neighborhood associations. Here's some correspondence, and right here's a public comment. This is the comment that was received up through last week. So you can go through here and you click on this one, and we'll look at the public comment, and we'll pop this sucker open. Okay, and we're going to see here the one neighborhood association that actually commented was the Southeast Neighborhood Association, and they basically said, "Yep, we like it. We're fine with this ordinance." The Historical Society, they commented, and they were having issues with this. They got like, yeah, right. You can't streamline it and cut out all of the regulations that have been set forth by law. And then we have, look at this. Here we go. Now we're going to get into Verizon. Verizon and all of the telecommunications industries, they've put all of their comments here telling the city leaders exactly the language they want so they can make their bottom lines more profitable and strip away all of yours and my rights. It's horrible, 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 horrible. You look at this crap, and if you don't take 5 minutes and weigh in, you're going to be stuck with this thing. I know firsthand. I'm going to share my story with you guys in a little bit, but it goes on and on and on and on and on. And then here we go. Here is this is our attorney right here that where Idahoans for Safe Technology, we gave our recommendations on what language should be added. And basically we're asking for all personal wireless, basically cell towers, small and large, to be prohibited in residential and school zones. Okay, this is currently being done in the city of Eagle. And if you look at the current Boise code, they limit macro towers and in some residential zones, and this is perfectly legal to put towers where the city thinks it's desirable. The next thing is, if the tower providers and the city and everyone else thinks that this RF radiation is not harmful, then most certainly we feel that the tower installers should carry a general liability policy that will cover damages and harm to citizens from RF exposure, right? So if you become ill, then you have insurance to cover that. And they cannot have hazardous pollution exclusions. And the third basic thing we want is a needs test. There's no need to keep putting more and more towers and have this high densification and exposing us all to higher and higher amounts of radiation if the tower is simply not needed. If there's already cell coverage and We can make phone calls and make texts. Why do we need more cell towers? Doesn't make sense. It's ugly and it's not good for us. And then we put in a simple purpose statement down here that says that the city of Boise should seek to achieve the following things. Protect and promote public health and safety and welfare of the residents and visitors. Should be number one. You kind of read through this and see other items that we feel are important when the city is looking at this. All right, so I'm going to keep going really quickly here for you. Okay, so I've already showed you a link to the Idaho Ordinance for Safe Technology, our draft ordinance, what we submitted the city planning. Now this is going to get interesting. So right here, here's Boise, a link, the Boise City planning and zoning meeting. So we had a cell tower that came through an application. It was back on 6/14, and we went down to the planning and zoning meeting to object to this tower going in. It simply wasn't needed. There was already plenty of cell coverage, and we made a written request to deny this application, and they just said pound sand. And I want you guys all to see how your city council, or excuse me, how the Planning and Zoning Commission value your health and safety. So what you do, you just click on the link, and then you're going to see right here like the video transcripts of the public hearing, and I have some timestamps down here of the different points that'll be interesting to you. So this is the permit application. So you go to timestamp 1 hour 14 minutes, right? So you come back here. Let's go to click on here. Go to 1 hour and 14 minutes. I don't believe there was. No, let's go right to here. There we go. And you can listen for yourself and hear us objecting to this the cell tower application. You guys get the point. I highly recommend you do that. And then so you can, hear, this is the beginning process at this time. This is our objection at 1 hour 28 minutes. You'll see Idaho Ordinance for Safe Technology trying to protect your health and safety. And then you can watch the Boise Planning and Zoning and their response to our comments. You got to watch it, guys. See who's representing you and taking care of you. Okay. And then likewise, here was after the Planning and Zoning denied our request for denial, and they approved this cell tower application. Then we appealed it and went to the city of Boise City Council when it came across their desk. And again, same thing, click here, you could watch the transcripts. Here's the timestamp of when you want to, where you want to go to see the start of the appeal. And then at this timestamp here, 9 minutes into it, you can see the city council's decision. And make your own mind up. They are trying to facilitate Verizon and make this 5G rollout as easy, painless, and cost them as little as possible. And they don't care about your health and safety. Okay. And then earlier last year, this was in November of 2020, we also went to appeal an approved cell tower to the city council. This was a much longer hearing. It was almost an hour and a half. You guys make up your own decision whether or not they are watching out for your best interest. Okay. Now here's another link to an interview with cell tower attorney Andrew Campanelli. He is giving an interview to a neighborhood association and giving them legal advice on how to take control of cell towers in our neighborhoods, and if we want to have them or not, what we want as citizens, and how we want to do it. And really, the bottom line is the only way we can do this is through our wireless zoning ordinances, which is currently being rewritten at the city of Boise. Highly recommend you watch it if you're a really nuts and bolts person. This one right here is how to prohibit unnecessary 4 and 5G towers. This is just a simple blog post that I put together, and it gives you more details and key definitions, solutions, and kind of what we're all about. That we don't need to have our broadband, big pipeline streaming videos wirelessly. We don't need that in 5G. We already have it in a safe, hardwired format. I don't know about you, but I have a spark light at my house, and I get plenty of broadband network. And if I want to have it on my cell phone, I simply turn my Wi-Fi router on, and bam, I can stream movies to my phone. I choose not to do that because it's not good for you, but you can. So you guys can read through this. It's a good read. Let's see here. And then also, a lot of times when you'll hear at the city council meetings and in the zoning meetings, they say that the 1996 Telecommunication Act prohibits us from making changes or denying these cell towers, and they keep referring back to this, and it's not true. If you actually look at the 96 Telecommunications Act, it gives all of the authority and the power to the local municipalities to regulate and not regulate the power, but to the placement, the construction, modification, and placement of these wireless devices are purely in our state and local government's hands. It says right here, number one, right? So go ahead and look at that. That'll help you get your head around the legal parts of it. Now, okay, so you're probably asking, like, who is this guy? Who is Hank? What's going on with him? You know what they say, hindsight's 2020. So about 3 years ago, I was running to the same place. It's the same thing with my house here at Eagle, where I got a notice in the mail, and Horizon Towers wants to put a macro tower 600 feet behind my house. We got a neighborhood group together and said, nope, let's go ahead and oppose this thing because we don't want it in our community. And 3 years later, and going through all of the commissioner meetings, trying to get this thing rejected, and then going through a lawsuit, or two different lawsuits, the tower went in, and I have a lot of history and experience of what not to do. And then also when they turn the cell tower on, right? So here we go. So this is kind of crazy. They just turned the cell tower on back in February. And as soon as the cell tower went on, within a week, in my backyard, I have a beehive. I live on a small little farm, and it decimated my beehive. The bees were dead. Here's a little video. It shows all the bees early in the year on my fruit trees and in the trees that are typically there. There was no bees. This affects our pollinators, people. I also went into AFib. I've been in AFib 6 times since the tower went in, and I can no longer go in my backyard. Here's a little video of when I was in AFib. Here's some details of where this cell tower is, where the other Melker towers are, and when these things communicate, the line of communication is right over my house. And the new 5G technology uses beamforming technology. And I was finding that the time that I was going to AFib was between 4:30 and 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So if I was outside or up in the upstairs of my bedroom, and I was in between this beam when these two towers were talking, it threw me into AFib, right? People don't talk about this stuff. And I'll let you know, it's serious stuff. And here's my GPS software. And this is that line between the two macro towers. Here's my house. These are the places that I went into AFib, right? And since then, I've had to spend thousands of dollars of my own money to basically create a Faraday cage around my house, protect my house and shield it so that I can actually live here. I can't go in my backyard, at certain times in the afternoon. If I do, I have to wear a special shirt that protects me from this radiation. And it's horrible. I still can't sleep in the upstairs of my bedroom, even though I've shielded everything. The radiation levels are too high at night, and I get heart palpitations. Okay, this can happen to you, and they could put one of the little small cell towers in your front yard on a cell tower, and if this ordinance passes, you can't do anything about it because they'll have no say. They've already paved the way, and if you read through all of the comments from Verizon, you're screwed. Okay. Now you go, all right, Hank, that's a great story. It's only you. Well, here's a link, 1,000 independent studies on the health effects, wireless radiation on humans and the environment. So you can go through here and look at, these are all independent studies that have been submitted to the FCC that they were supposed to act on. And here's all the links to these studies. Have at it, go at them. The effects on the fetus, right? And you scroll down here, and these are all studies. The effects on children and adolescents, brain tumors. These are all studies. Paranoid, whatever, the glands and tumors, DNA damage, genetic, neurological, cognitive effects, right? I personally have this symptom, right? When I'm out and I get exposed to wireless radiation, it messes with my head. I can't think straight. I spend too much time in front of the computer. If my wife turns on the Wi-Fi router in her house, it messes me up. Cardiovascular effects. This is me going into AFib. It's all right here. There's plenty of research. Here's a big one, the National Toxicology Report. Okay, this is a huge study that was done. It was, I think it was $20 million funded by the FDA, and the National Toxicology came up with their findings that it was conclusive evidence that RF radiation from cell phones causes cancer in rats and mice in their heart, especially male rats. And this was submitted to the FCC, and they did nothing about it, right? And you go through, you can look at this and have at it. If you think I'm just making this up, there's all of these published scientific studies for you to look at. And then here we go. This is another post I put together based on the National Toxicology Program. And here's an interview with one of the lead scientists from the National Toxicology Program, and then all the different information here. Here's the findings, make it real simple for you. You kind of look through it, and I'll tell you, this doesn't make sense. The FCC is a captured agency, people. They are captured by the telecommunications company. If you look at it, the commissioners for the FCC are all former counsel attorneys for the leading telecommunications companies, Verizon, T-Mobile, and AT&T. They're not there looking out for you and your health. They're there trying to make money and increase the bottom line for these telco companies, okay? So as a result of the FCC not looking into these independent studies and the toxicology report, they got sued. The Children's Health Defense Network and one other agency came together last year and sued the FCC. And just last month on August 13th, the US Court of Appeals, DC, ruled that the FCC did not do their job, and they haven't looked at any of this stuff. And they're in trouble. So the court has now looked at it and goes, FCC is not doing their job, okay? So look into it, go check this out, go to this this webpage if you want. And this is the Children's Health Defense Network, Robert Kennedy Jr. He's one of the lead attorneys, and he goes through here and gives you all the details on the case, what was going on. And if you really want to get into nuts and bolts, watch this video. And it has the two lead attorneys along with Kennedy, and they talk about the ins and outs of the case and where we go from here, and make your own your decision here, people. I'm giving you the information so you can be informed, okay? And then here's another letter. This is, when I make the claim that the FCC is a captured agency, here, take a look. This is I think the guy was from Harvard University, Norman Alster. Where does he write from? Cambridge, Massachusetts, Harvard University. And he goes through and gives all the information on how they're a captured agency, how it works. And you guys need to read this stuff and look at it. It's really important. Okay, so that's it. I've gone on too long. If you have any questions, please reach out to us on our website, idahonsforsafetechnology.org, and you contact us, give me a holler, and I'll reach back out to you. But please, 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 please contact the president of your neighborhood association and request that they weigh in on this. This is very, very, very important to all of the people of Boise. I don't live there. I'm just giving you my experience and my advice. This one matters. If this is all a concern to you, you need to weigh in and let them know. Let's have cell coverage, but let's be smart about this. Let's not put this high densification of these towers up and down all of your streets next to your houses and endanger your children. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing that one. Thank you. and enjoy the rest of your weekend. God bless you all.